Please join me now in a spirit of meditation and prayer. After our spoken meditation and a time of silent reflection, we will sing together Spirit of Life, hymn number 123, which you can also find in your order of service. We'll sing first in English and then in Spanish. Our meditation this morning is a poem by Edward Hayes from the book Earth Prayers. O sacred season of autumn, be my teacher, for I wish to learn the virtue of contentment. As I gaze upon your full-colored beauty, I sense all about you an at-homeness with your amber riches. You are the season of retirement, of full barns and harvested fields. The cycle of growth has ceased, and the busy work of giving life is now completed. I sense in you no regrets. You've lived a full life. I live in a society that is ever restless, always eager for more mountains to climb, seeking happiness through more and more possessions. As a child of my culture, I am seldom truly at peace with what I have. Teach me to take stock of what I have given and received. May I know that it's enough, that my striving can cease in the abundance of life's grace. May I know the contentment that allows the totality of my energies to come to full flower. May I know that, like you, I am rich beyond measure. As you, O autumn, take pleasure in your great bounty, let me also take delight in the abundance of the simple things in life, which are the true source of joy. With the golden glow of peaceful contentment, may I truly appreciate this autumn day. Please join me now in a spirit of meditation and prayer. After our spoken meditation and a time of silent reflection, we will sing together Spirit of Life, hymn number 123, which you can also find in your order of service. We'll sing first in English and then in Spanish. Our meditation this morning is a poem by Edward Hayes from the book Earth Prayers. O sacred season of autumn, be my teacher, for I wish to learn the virtue of contentment. As I gaze upon your full-colored beauty, I sense all about you an at-homeness with your amber riches. You are the season of retirement, of full barns and harvested fields. The cycle of growth has ceased, and the busy work of giving life is now completed. I sense in you no regrets. You've lived a full life. I live in a society that is ever restless, always eager for more mountains to climb, seeking happiness through more and more possessions. As a child of my culture, I am seldom truly at peace with what I have. Teach me to take stock of what I have given and received. May I know that it's enough, that my striving can cease in the abundance of life's grace. May I know the contentment that allows the totality of my energies to come to full flower. May I know that, like you, I am rich beyond measure. As you, O autumn, take pleasure in your great bounty, let me also take delight in the abundance of the simple things in life, which are the true source of joy. with the golden glow of peaceful contentment, may I truly appreciate this autumn day. Our reading this morning is by Reverend Kathleen McTeague, Masks and Revelations. It was a few days after Halloween, and I had just retrieved my daughters from their daycare. As we drove home in the early darkness, we passed a house with a big picture window lit up from within. My daughter Hannah was not yet 3 years old, and she practiced her vocabulary through a running commentary on the world as it went past. She announced from the back seat, "Mommy, that house had 2 peoples and a dog in it." Thinking about Halloween and all of the decorations that were still around, I asked absently, "Were they real or pretend?" She answered firmly, "They were real." 10 minutes later, when we were near to our own driveway and my mind had drifted far afield, her voice again floated out from the back seat. "Mommy, are we real or pretend?" I suddenly felt the ear of God inclined toward me. Is this a simple question of information, or is it a theological test? A 3-year-old isn't looking for an existential discourse, but long after the child has left the question and its simple answer behind her, an echo still dances around in the psyche. Are you real or pretend? Probably a little of both. It's a rare and saintly person who can bring forth a depth of authenticity to every moment. Quite aside from the easy masks we might play with on Halloween, we run the risk of getting caught up in more serious disguises. All those images we can carry around in our minds without even being aware of it. Maybe it's our idea of the perfect mother or the dutiful son, the beloved teacher or pious minister, the skilled social worker or respected CEO. Whatever it is we hope the world will see when it looks at us. When we confuse what we do with who we are we real or are we pretend? How about the rest of the lives around us? Are they real to us? The people caught in traffic in the car next to you, the waiter who just took your order, the woman who cleans your workspace after you've gone home for the day. Are they completely real to you? Consider those far away in terms of geography, belief, or circumstance. The people suffering in Puerto Rico, Palestine, or Pakistan. The hundreds of thousands of men imprisoned in our own country. The homeless women on a bench downtown. Or those who come to mind when we hear words like Muslim, or evangelical, or conservative. Are they real or pretend? Do we let them blossom into genuine human beings who are complex, maddening, unpredictable, and different from us? Or do we reduce them to parodies, people we can dismiss, who we can easily call our enemy? Sometimes we put on our own masks. Sometimes we put masks on other people. One of the purposes of a spiritual life is to help us engage deeply in the search for truth. Sometimes that search is sharpened and focused by the query of a child ringing out like the sound of a meditation bell. Are you real or pretend? Now is the time. Thank you. As we approach Halloween, I'll let you in on a pet peeve of mine. Store-bought costumes annoy me. When I was little, nobody had a store-bought costume. Everybody made their own. It took weeks of preparation. If you were lucky, you had a seamstress for a mother. But even those who didn't could get by with some duct tape and a hot glue gun. I know that when I was very young, a feather duster was repurposed along with a pair of yellow footy pajamas, and I made a very convincing duck. One of my sister's best creation was an outfit made up of a clear trash bag full of purple balloons that she had blown up herself. She was a bunch of grapes. After purchasing matching beanie hats on a trip here in Provincetown one year, the ones with the little helicopter things on top, my best friend and I put pillows under our shirts and went out trick-or-treating as Tweedledee and Tweedledum. All the kids that I know want to be zombies this year. Maybe they want to suspend the rules of life for a while, be immortal. Or maybe they just want to be scary, which they are not usually encouraged to be. There's a freedom in trying something on for a while, knowing that it's not permanent, knowing that there will be no long-term judgments or repercussions. It's fun to paint your face to the point where you are unrecognizable. It's fun to put on a mask. In preparation for today, I've been thinking a lot about masks. I was going to go to the store to buy some masks for today's service, but then I was annoyed at myself. So I decided to stick to my own rules, and I did some experimenting with paper plates, markers, and scissors. So I'd like to introduce you to a few new friends of mine that will be helping us out with the sermon today. We've got the owl. Thank you. The tiger. And the happy face. The owl, the tiger, and the happy face are going to be my assistants today as we explore both the upsides and downsides of wearing masks. And although it is Halloween, which inspired today's theme, I'm sure you've gathered by now that we're not really just talking about Halloween masks anymore. We're talking about the masks that we wear and put on every day, sometimes without even knowing it. Much like when we don a Halloween mask, the invisible masks we wear aid us in accessing different parts of ourselves, parts sometimes mostly left unexpressed. We can be silly, daring, angry, scary, and brave. And of course, there are other ways we wear masks too. Technology has become a type of mask, right? We use it to hide behind, to protect ourselves, and sometimes to impress and entice others. We post happy pictures of ourselves on Facebook. Even when we are unhappy, the mask goes up, and we portray happy, smiling. One famous name in the world of psychology gave great importance to the idea of the mask, Sigmund Freud. His theory of repressed emotions and energies in humans gave rise to the notion of individuals having a second self, a double, a mask worn to help them cope with the stresses and strains of real life. Carl Jung's exploration of the self led him to develop the idea of the persona. The persona is the face we show to the world, our mask, and it protects the ego, our conscious mind. This mask can change according to the demands placed on us by society, parents, family, friends, and work. The early Greeks, of course, had already introduced the idea of the persona, or mask, in their plays and drama. That idea that you could be one person capable of displaying several personas stuck, and masks have played an important role in acting ever since. So let's try on some masks. Let's start with this one. We wear this one a lot. We wear it to the grocery store. Hi, how are you? I'm great, how are you? The happy mask is the face that we wear when we are connecting on the surface level. The happy face mask is useful. It's useful with people we don't know very well, or in a professional context, where we don't want to bare our souls every time someone asks us how we are. It saves us time. We would never get out of the grocery store if we told everyone how we were really doing. The happy face mask is useful when we are trying to direct the energies and attentions of a group. Who wants to listen to a tired and grumpy presenter? This mask is useful when we are camping with our family at a folk festival and it starts to rain and everyone is getting wet. This is fun, we say, trying to convince both the children and ourselves that it is true. It's not helpful for the planner of a trip or the leader of a family to succumb to disappointment and aggravation at the first sign of rain. Sometimes a cheerful group leader can keep the spirits of the whole group up. And it's not like the leader is not also getting wet, right? Or particularly enjoys a damp sleeping bag. He or she is wearing the happy mask for the good of the group. And you know what? Just putting on the mask can be helpful to ourselves too. Did you know that the act of smiling, even when you're not really feeling it, changes your brain chemistry? Facial feedback works because the brain senses the flexing of certain facial muscles, like the zygomatic major, which is required to smile. And the brain interprets it as, oh, I must be happy about something. And on top of the direct neural feedback, as you move through the world with a smile, you also get the added advantage of social feedback. Smiles are infectious. So even if you don't feel much happier, the people around you are more likely to smile back at you, and that can improve your mood as well. Fair warning, this works with frowning too. People who frown during an unpleasant procedure report feeling more pain than those who do not. And people who scowl as they move through the world probably don't get as many smiles in return. So this is a good mask. But of course, nothing is simple. The happy face mask can also be problematic. It's problematic when we never take it off. It's problematic when, instead of making conscious choices about who to show our other emotions to and when, we are never showing other emotions to anyone. It's problematic when we wear this mask even when looking in the mirror, when we can't be honest with ourselves about when we are not happy. How about the owl? This is a good mask. We wear the owl mask when we want to appear wise. It is another useful mask for things like job interviews or delivering sermons. We need the confidence of a wise owl mask when we want people to listen to the things we have to say. Sometimes we need to wear this mask with ourselves in order to embrace the idea that each of us has wisdom, hard-won wisdom from life's experiences that make our opinions and point of view valuable. We have wisdom. We have stories. We have worth. We can see through darkness. We are owls. And the owl mask, too, can be problematic. When we are constantly trying to prove that we are the smartest one in the room, that our opinion matters the most, that we are smart and therefore others are dumb. When we hold forth on subjects that we are not experts in and fail to listen to the wisdom that others bring to the table. When the mask of being knowledgeable keeps us from asking questions or admitting doubt, or keeps us from admitting that we need clarification or direction. When we think we know what others are thinking because we are so wise, the owl mask can be problematic. And our last friend, the tiger. This is a good mask. We wear it when we need to be brave and fierce, or when we are sticking up for ourselves or for others. We wear it when we are writing letters to the editor. Visitors, see this week's banner. We wear it when we are standing in front of town hall with signs for justice. We wear our tiger mask in the face of illness and other challenges. We put it on when we need to be tough, fight back, endure bad news or the unknown. We use our tiger mask to access our strength. We can do this. And by the way, don't mess with me. It's a good mask. And you might guess where I'm going. It is problematic. When we appear so fierce in our mission for justice, we might scare away those who have questions. We might not be inviting dialogue that could be helpful to someone's understanding or to our own. A tiger mask is intimidating. When we wear our tiger mask in the face of illness, loss, or other major challenges, we might appear so self-confident and so strong that others shy away from offering us comfort or help. Our tiger mask might keep us from accepting the offers of comfort and help coming from our friends and family. Our tiger mask might be so tight on our faces that we don't have room for tears to fall. And sometimes we just need to fall apart for a while. Put the mask back on later. It's not comfortable to wear a tiger mask to bed. In her article called "The Masks We Wear," Susan Sparks says, one of the most common reasons we wear masks is what I think of as imposter syndrome. The fear that the world is going to find us out. I've heard it described as feeling like a fake, like you don't really belong, or like you aren't really successful, but are just posing. It's like my Halloween costume at age 7, she says. I dressed up as a zombie gypsy. Apparently, this zombie thing is timeless. I dressed up as a zombie gypsy, something I believed to be terribly scary, until my next-door neighbor yanked off my mask and said, "Oh, it's just you." One of our greatest fears is that if we show our true selves, Susan says, the world will say, "Oh, it's just you." But being just you is actually the best and most perfect thing you could ever be. As Oscar Wilde said, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Alex Cohen writes, the reality is we all wear masks daily. We are one person at home and another in the office and yet another around our community and friends. With all the masks that we wear, he asks, do we eventually lose sight of the original person we are? The person behind the mask? Novelist and essayist André Berthiaume once wrote, we all wear masks, and the time comes when we cannot remove them without removing some of our own skin. So we've heard a lot about masks today, the upsides and the downsides, their usefulness and their dangers. Once Halloween is over, we don't have to pack them all away. But maybe as we go throughout our day with our various inevitable masks, we can begin to ask ourselves, are they serving us well? And when we take them off, maybe with a little bit of our skin on them, we can look in the mirror and ask ourselves that 3-year-old's question, are we real or pretend? Amen, and blessed be.